rush by an ever-growing number of Nigerians from across all ages to migrate away from the country because of diminishing economic opportunities seems to be approaching a screaming point. This desperation to live at all costs may also have opened the door for all manners of unscrupulous elements to take undue advantage of the unwary and ignorant ones, especially through visa racketeering. We are now being joined to have a chat about what needs to be done, especially by Nigerians in the diaspora, to protect their fellow countrymen and women from exploitation by visa racketeers, by actress, PR expert, and humanitarian Queen Eghujovbo, the founder of Silent Creative Organization. Good morning, Queen. Good to have you join us on the morning show today.
Good morning, Mr. Steve and Madam Shea.
Morning.
Thank you
for the show.
All right, good morning indeed. The subject matter of japa, many Nigerian youths are looking for greener pastures, abroad is still very much a topic of discussion practically everywhere, especially now, as you know, that there are economic challenges apparently all over the country. But there is also another argument from Abuja, one of the key advisors to the president, saying just about 2 days ago that the whole idea of japa seems to be reducing because of the devaluation of the naira. In other words, it's trying to say that the amount of money required to emigrate is becoming unaffordable for many people, and therefore he thinks that devaluation of the naira and the state of the naira at this time might be a blessing in disguise for those who want Nigerians to remain at home. What are your thoughts on this before we go into the subject matter of how Nigerians are being duped by visa racketeers in their bid to move abroad?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk on this matter. I'll tell you something. Nigerians are extremely determined human beings. When they want to do anything, they do just about anything to get that thing done. So whether Nigeria knows the naira value is low or high or medium or whatever it is, people are still coming by the numbers. I run an organization here called the African Village, and we receive Nigerians, immigrants in Canada, almost every week. So the money value has no effect at all. People go out to borrow, to sell whatever they want to sell, to do whatever they would do just to get out of the country. So I don't agree with that.
All right, then. Thank you so much for, setting the pace of the conversation. But I would like to touch on the risks and the vulnerabilities. I mean, you said it, that Nigerians will do anything, and we're seeing that impact on visa racketeering. It has become a lucrative avenue for fraudsters preying on the desperation of would-be migrants. In your advocacy work, what common patterns have you observed among victims of these schemes? And what practical steps, can they take to avoid falling prey? And is there any role that the Nigerian government and maybe foreign embassies could play in curbing this menace that has eaten deep into the fabric of our society?
So I'll take the very first one, the very first question. What are the common things that we have seen? The common things that we have been receiving here is the fact that these people will package a very beautiful lie, if there's anything like that, and then back it up with social media platforms, showcasing the fact that they are either representatives of Canada or some other country, or they are ambassadors of some certain sectors in that country, just backing up the fact that they could get these people out here. So those are some of the things that we are seeing. Now, what are the steps that could be taken? I advise every single Nigerian, old, young, medium age, whatever age you are, the moment you are thinking, just the thought in your head that you want to leave Nigeria, do a research. Don't ever talk to anybody, either a lawyer, a consultant, or anybody that would promise you anything about leaving Nigeria without doing your research. The results and the answers are all on our fingertip. Thank God to the social media today. Everything is online. Read, find informations. A simple way to find information for Canada is cic.gc.ca. That's simple. And you just search what you're looking for. So do your research. Make sure you find facts before you believe or trust anyone and start exchanging funds. Now, what can the government do to mitigate this problem? 3 things. Try to make whatever country these people are living from, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, Ghana, name it, make your citizens comfortable. If they're comfortable, they would only go for vacation and come back. Take, for example, Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most beautiful countries on earth. If you make it comfortable for the citizens, hardly anybody will want to come stay in this cold that we are in. Make your country comfortable for your citizens, and you would see that a lot of people would rather stay back in their country than going out somewhere else to start all over again. That's my advice.
All right, Queen. I mean, that's a good one. But then tell us, what is it about Canada that appeals so much to the Nigerian youth of today? It looks to me like Canada is the El Dorado when it comes to japa in these days. And of course, you know the song about in Canada. My colleague Shaitan is almost trying to dance, because once Canada is mentioned in matters of immigration, that's the song that comes to mind. You run an organization that caters to the need of people who are either trying to settle or, giving information. So my question is, first, what is it about Canada that it appears to be the new El Dorado over US, maybe over UK, over Ireland, that used to be the go-to place for our people in those days? But then now it is Canada. And then secondly, you're saying that if Nigeria is a lot better than it is, maybe people will not travel. But people have always traveled, even when Nigeria was good and nice. People should have the opportunity to go to where they think that they can flower. And therefore, I do not think it's so much about issues at home, even though they contribute, but then people are at liberty, to seek a better life anywhere. The example of Cuba, which I would like you to respond to, Cuba takes advantage of the fact that it supplies a lot of medical personnel to the United States, but Cuba benefits from that. Don't you think that Nigeria can also become like an incubator, sending workforce abroad and then benefiting from it the same way that we benefited in December, during Dirty December, when we were told that almost 100 billion naira was spent by those who return from abroad to partake in the vibes that Lagos represents in December?
Okay, so I would tell you one thing. Before time immemorial, if there's any word like that, people have always traveled. People travel for different reasons. They travel for education, they travel for schooling, they travel for work, they travel for just a visit. Nigerians can come out to visit. They've always done that. But leaving the country of birth, where you have always known at 50, at 40, at 30, at 22, at 16, at 3, at 70, and moving to a country that you don't know nothing about, to go and settle there and call that place home, it's never an easy decision to make. What is it about Canada? I'll tell you honestly, Canada is a beautiful country. It is peaceful. It has done some of us well. Some of us that have called this place home now, it has done us well. So I am grateful to be in Canada. But I tell you something else. If I know what I know now, if I knew what I know now I would stay back in Nigeria. And I say that with absolute humility of the opportunity that God gave to me to come here. Nigeria coming to Canada is all a lie that has been posted by social media. Social media has influenced so many things that you find people living on the streets in Canada, but yet they would take a picture with a big house, a big car, post it out there and tell people that, hey, I can bring you to come and live like me. I have proofs of these things. Many people would live on the streets of Canada, take a picture in a big house or maybe a friend's car, post it out, and then they go and tell people, hey, I can bring you over here to go to school. And after 2 months, 3 months, you get your papers, and they're all a lie. The Canadian government, it's not an easy government to deal with. Their immigration policies are very friendly and favorable, but they live by the rules to the T and the dots on the I's. If you don't know that, you would come in here. Starting is a painful birth period. A lot of people don't understand that. The thing about Canada, I remember growing up, one of the places I've always wanted to visit was New York. My first day in New York, I looked at the streets of New York and I asked my husband, I said, is this New York? I want to go back. I came to Canada 6 months out of the very first time in Canada. I was crying to return back to Nigeria 20 years ago. So a lot of the lies on media is deceiving people, preparing them that this place is a place of milk and gold and silver on the streets. The moment you arrive Canada, everything will be fine. My brother, my sister, I'm telling you, it is not true. When you come to Canada, first thing you're going to hit, if you're here in the winter, is a cold that you can never imagine. You can't even fathom it. So you will have to get used to that first. Number two, you don't get the food that you are used to. I remember freshly coming to Canada, I could never eat their chicken and their corn. It was hard to get used to the food in Canada. Number three, whatever profession you're bringing from your country, you come here, one of the things that will hit you is the second language, French, that you don't have. And your qualification is never good enough. So you have to retrain. How many people are ready to do that? So the lies need to stop. The lies need to stop. Deceiving our youth that have a future wherever they are. The lies need to stop. Somebody might ask, then why are you there if it's not good enough? Well, I've been here for over 20 years. I've established here. I have children here. So it's hard for me to start coming back to Nigeria to what? Some people have never established anything in Nigeria, so it is difficult to come back to nothing. So we call this place home, and then we come back home to visit. But if you have something going on for you in Nigeria, don't let no one deceive you. Canada is cold. That is the first stress you're going to have. We have marriages that come here, and because of the stress in Canada, before you know it, they're separated, they're living on their own. Why would you want to leave the beauty and the peace and the sanity that you have in the country that you were born to go somewhere else that it's unknown? A total strangers will come to your aid. Why will anybody need to do that? Except somebody come and brainwash you that this place is better than where you are. Then you jump out.
All right, then. I want to just quickly follow up on something that you said. You're talking about, public perception. And I would say, media influence, the role that media plays in all of this, the portrayal of migration success stories and the popular, culture that often fuels the japa narrative. As a PR expert yourself, a public relations expert, how can more balanced narratives be created to manage public expectations about life abroad? I mean, you've just touched on so many things that people don't even think about: the food, the weather, the living conditions, work ethics. So how can that be balanced? Because it's something that, social media in itself is not necessarily controlled by anyone, but how do we balance it out?
So I tell people a lot of the times that the things that you repost matters. When you see anything, you start reposting it, you give that thing a voice that doesn't need to have a voice. One of the things that I deliberately do is I promote nothing that it's not ethical. So if I see somebody posting a picture with themselves on, for example, a Lamborghini, that doesn't fill my cup of tea, so I would never repost that. I think people need to deliberately begin to post things that are real. Go out without makeup. Go to work on a day and you want to do a video, do a real video. Show yourself the way you are. Tell the people that you care about the truth. The moment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people begin to live real lives on social media, showing people the real them, how they are living, then these things will begin to change. Right now, everybody wants to be pretty. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be big. Everybody wants to be respected. Everybody wants to be looked upon as they are making it. You know the saying that says, fake it until you make it? That is going around everywhere. One thing that people can do is stop reposting lies. Don't repost lies.
All
Be
right.
real. Social media. That would help.
All right. Okay. If any of the people of the young Nigerians who are who might be planning to travel, if they follow your advice, they, make their research, and they are convinced that they need to migrate abroad, job opportunities, are the first major challenge after cold that you mentioned, particularly in Canada, that they face. You are the founder of the Windsor International Black Film Festival, and of course, Zalent Creatives. How much of opportunities are there for those who are coming from this part of the world in the creative space, acting, music, etc., in Canada? I know that Canada is not exactly Hollywood, but then what sort of opportunities are there, given the type of things that you do? You're an actress also, you're into PR, and you also run a film festival. Are there opportunities? Is this something that people can look forward to if they think that Canada will be the right place for them to live?
Absolutely. Canada loves the entertainment world. They provide not just the opportunity, but fund the opportunities that they provide. There's a lot of funding out here for actors and actresses, people in the media, even musicians. There's a lot of opportunity. Having said that, can you get a job as a movie producer from Nigeria to come and live in Canada? Maybe yes, maybe not. One of the things that the easiest way for people that are in that industry to come into Canada is to come to the film schools here in Canada. When you get into the film school and you are able to go through the program, while you're going through the program, there's a mirage of network that you are going to get. And once you get into that network, you start showcasing yourself, producing things and backing up, maybe piggybacking a known producer here, coming into festivals to network with other local producers. Then you can build your way up. But saying someone will get a job from Nigeria as a producer or a lighting guy, and very seldom you hear that. But when you're coming to the festivals, you will network with people and co-produce movies and songs and, co-write scripts with other people in the art space here. That would gain you the opportunity. We have a lot of actors and actresses from Nollywood that are now living here, but they did not migrate through their professions. I have personal friends in Nollywood that have migrated here, but they migrated legally through the immigration program that helps you migrate with a PR when you get to Canada.
All right, Queen Eghujovbo, we want to thank you for joining us on the morning show today, and thanks for the insight on those who wants to go to Canada or other parts of the world. Thanks for your insight.